Retro review time again, and I've got a bit of a self-indulgent one today. This club, the Adams Pro DHY utility iron, was in my bag for about 3 or 4 years, so I'm really keen to see if it's still got the magic. We've teamed up with Golf Clubs for Cash, one of the leading retailers of pre-loved equipment. They've sent me some absolute crackers to test, so please take a look at those guys down in the description below. But now I've got this, it's $63.99, 18 degrees, a really premium graphite shaft. Let's go and hit some balls and see what it can do. So the Pro DHY was launching around 2014 when we just sort of come out of the era where hybrids and rescues were new and exciting. Some people just didn't get on with them. Some people hit them left, some people found them too floaty. So companies started to introduce this kind of iron rescue combination club that satisfied a few things that people needed. Companies like Titleist did the Titleist TMB, Ping did the crossover, TaylorMade had their UDI, their ultimate driving iron, and Adams produced this, the Pro DHY. But this thing had one very significant difference to a lot of those other ones, and it was more of a blend between irons and woods, and that is the face bulge. Now you might have been hearing this term a lot lately with Bryson DeChambeau and his 3D printed irons. So what does it really mean? So think about bulge as a bit of a safety net on your irons, or even the more iron style utility irons. The face will be flat, and what can happen is you don't get the assistance of gear effect. If you hit the ball off the toe, face tends to deflect open and the ball rolls more towards the center of the face, creating excessive curvature, and off the toe generally quite a hefty draw. Vice versa, off the heel, the club face will generally deflect a little bit closed and the ball will again roll to the center, creating that excessive curvature from left to right for a right-handed player. What we've got here, and why I call it an insurance policy, is we've got a face that's kind of curved, that the nearest point to the target is in the center and it falls away on both the heel and toe. So what that does, if you do hit it off the toe, it helps with your start line, creating a little bit further right. So it just gives you that little bit of insurance policy when that side spin does kick in, that you've got the right start off the toe or the left start off the heel, and it will create a tighter dispersion pattern. And down behind the ball, you can actually see that bulge and roll. I can see the toe and the heel falling away a bit. And because I know the benefits of gear effect, that's actually quite confidence inspiring. It lets me know I've got a bit of margin for error here, which I really like. What else is confidence inspiring is the blade length. It's really, really long. I've got plenty of surface area to hit the ball here. Overall, it's just a really nice, softly rounded profile. So I've got the bulge, which I can see. The back gently curves away, and it's just a really soft, lovely head profile. And what I do like about it as well is this kind of charcoaly black color. It disguises what is quite a big head. It's actually quite slimming. When you get this darker color, it doesn't look as large or game improvement in any way. We've got the help, we've got the real estate, we've got the bulge, but it doesn't look too cumbersome. So the first thing I wanted to know, and this is crucial with any utility iron for me, is it going to be a good fairway finder? So I've come down to the beautiful Saunton Golf Club at one of my favourite practice grounds in the world. I've got my full swing kit launch monitor, and I've set up an imaginary fairway down there, 25 yards wide, between one of those yardage sticks and the bush on the left there. I've got 20 balls in front of me here because I want to see a good average. I'm just going to hit them away, see how many I can get between that particular parameter, and see if it's going to be a good fairway finder for me. That was actually really good. Out of the 20 shots I hit there, 15 were within my parameters. So that's essentially, well, it's exactly 75%, and that's really, really good for me. There is a little bit of a right to left wind, so I could just hold my fade up against it, which was useful, so that needs to be factored in. But I did feel really confident in hitting a lot of fairways with this. I don't know whether it's the psychology of having that bulge there that I knew I could get away with a few, or whether it's just a really nice fairway finding club. So that's a promising start, but I want more from this club. I demand a lot from a club between my 3-wood and my iron set. It needs to be versatile. Can I hit it high? Can I hit it low? Can I shape it a bit? So let's find out. Sorry to interrupt, I hope you're enjoying the video. If you are, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button and comment down below. Let me know about the retro equipment you play and that you've loved over the years. Okay, well those were great. Those 20 shots were really good. I'm really happy with the percentage of the fairways I hit there. But like I said, I need a bit more versatility out of this club. Those were coming out of kind of a mid-launch, mid-spin window, which is great, and that's a nice starting ground for the club. But I need to know whether I can do some more with it, whether I can get that high shot that might land softly on a par 5 where I'm going for in 2, or I've got to get over a tree or something like that. So I need to be able to vary trajectory. So I'm going to try and scoop one up here, and it feels really amenable to that. The face looks like it wants to just sit a little bit open. I'm just going to move the ball a little bit further forward in my stance and go with a little sweepier swing. And that's great. It's got a bit of a high fade on it, but that's really coming down soft. That's barely moved once it's hit the deck. So that's interesting. It didn't feel a problem getting it up. Let's see if we can get a little stinger with it. So we've got that into wind scenario. We need a more penetrating ball flight. We're going to pop it back in the stance a little bit, curtail that follow through a little bit more, and just drive it down with that little low fade. That's great. There's got to be, I don't know, 40, 50 feet between those trajectories. So there does seem to be some versatility with this club. As I said, my sort of stock shot is a bit of a fade, so it doesn't seem to be a problem doing that. Let's try and exaggerate that a little bit from left to right. No problem there. It's not fading massively more than it normally would. Interesting. Okay, now my nemesis. Let's see if I can turn it over. Let's see if I can aim up the right, toe the club in a little bit and get it releasing from right to left a little bit. Okay, that's actually done a really nice job for me, that. Not masses of curvature. I was trying to play a big slinging hook there and a big carving fade, so maybe the self-correction of the bulge is kicking in there more than I not necessarily want it to, but yeah, I'm struggling to curve it as much as I might think, but the high and low wasn't a problem at all there, but it's got more to do. I'm not always going to be on a nice clean line in the fairway. Let's go to some trouble and see if it can extricate me out of some rough. Right, those of you that have played any golf with me will know this is not an unfamiliar situation. I'm off the fairway, I'm in a bit of the thicker clag. Something I'm really interested to see here, a couple of those ones I hit in my 20 when I was hitting the fairway finder section were a little bit low off the face, and I was expecting a lower reading in terms of ball speed and distance numbers, and that maintained really well. So I've heard this about this club before, and I remember it from when I played it. Any sort of low on the face strikes retain a lot of ball speed, more than some others I've used. So I'm in a situation here now where the ball's lower than the club face really. It's nestled down a little bit in this thicker stuff. So I just want to see whether that holds true and whether this club head will come smoothly through this grass and can get me out of a bit of trouble here, because I do demand this from my sort of utility club. That's chopped through delightfully actually. It's come out with very little spin and that's gone miles. But you can see here that cut through the turf, some pretty thick long grass here, pretty well. So that's promising. Let's get it a little bit worse. Let's go in that divot from where I've just been. Let's see if we can chop that out. You probably can't even see the ball there. That is not pleasant. Oh, like a little knife through butter. That was low on the face. Crikey, that's gone a long way. That was low on the face again, but as off the fairway there, these lower off the face hits seem to really retain ball speed, produce a really good result. And you can see this is some pretty yucky stuff. That had no problem getting through there. It seems very versatile. On the subject of versatility, I've got one more little scenario I wanted to try the Pro DHY out in, and that's around the greens in. It's quite topical. I'm filming this just after the US Open at Pinehurst, where I saw Tiger Woods playing a lot of these little greenside shots from scrubby little lies with his 4-iron. So I often play this when I've got a little tough lie, I've not got anything to go over, got a bit of a sandy area here, which you often get on links golf courses. I often play this with a hybrid or even a 3-wood, just something that I can just bump forward. It's going to get the ball just above the grass and roll in towards the hole. This strikes me that it might be the club for the job here. It's got a slightly slimmer profile than a hybrid and obviously a 3-wood. So I don't feel like it's going to get caught up. I've got a reasonable lie here, but I'm just going to try and bump it along the ground. And let's see if the hybrid can work its magic. So it's done well, it's not snagged up at all, it's rolling nice and safely towards the hole, probably 5.5 feet. That's actually a really good result from here. So let's make it a bit tougher and give myself a really nestled down sandy lie. That's not great at all. So getting a wedge into the back of that would be next to impossible. So this might be another really safe option from here. So again, just like a putting stroke, bump it forward. It's got enough forward momentum running up towards the hole, and that is absolute tapping range, a couple of feet away. So in summary, not only is this a fairway finder off the tee, not only can it extricate me from horrible lies in the rough, I can actually get up and down from it from a really tricky situation. There's ultimate versatility in this club. I do a lot of these retro reviews and I shouldn't really have a favourite, but I think I just might. As I said, I used this club a few years ago and I'm really surprised at myself, having tested it today, that I ever let it go. It does so much for me. It's a really solid, reliable fairway finder. I can get out of trouble with it, and I've even shown I can get up and down with it for some tricky lies around the green. It might not be the perfect shaft for me, although it is a nice premium Aldila shaft. I need something a little bit stiffer, but I can take care of that. And for $63.99, I'm not sure golf clubs for cash are going to get this back off me.